Before I start blabbering off about what happened, I want to clarify by saying this isn't to start more drama or continue the drama, but to end it. Me, Luke, Kitty, and a lot of others involved in the situation have spoken privately and finally done the thing that we should have done a long while ago and resolved all of our issues. With that said though, I'd like to talk about what happened and explain to you how Prisonmate Luke apologized and we resolved this drama, finally getting those two slanderous videos off of my name. With that being said though, I do want to clarify that Kitty is still going to release her video where she criticizes me, and I'm fully open to hear that, and I know Kitty is going to feature my take in that video, which I appreciate highly. I have no bad blood with any of them. I gave them my criticism and we had a falling out. That's not going to change the way I take their criticism, and that's not going to change the way I address them in the future, as I feel it's fair to give everyone a second chance if they show themselves worthy of it. With that being said though, I also want to be very clear in recognizing that I definitely did also make mistakes myself. I know I've already apologized to the victim, but even more so, I still mean that apology, and I know I have made mistakes. Also, just as a little update, my old Luke videos have been privatized, and my new Luke videos are going to remain up, though I'd recommend you check the pinned comment as I will be updating it with corrections and more information where I feel necessary. With that out of the way, if you're new to the channel or haven't already, there's a beautiful red button down below, which if you click, it'll kind of make my day just that little bit better and a little bit brighter. We're aiming for 20k in the next 2 months, which is insanely difficult to do, but if we can do it, that would be crazy, and your support would mean the world to me. Also, feel free to check out my other social media like my Twitter and my Discord down below in the description, along with my Ko-fi and Patreon if you want to support me financially, or just want to keep updated with me in general. That out of the way, let's get back into the video. So, this all changed when I was reached out to by the bridge between me and the victims yesterday, when they messaged me and they said that they wanted to talk things out and that Luke was willing to apologize, to which I obviously said, that's awesome, I'd love to speak to Luke about that. And we had a conversation there where we just talked through the whole Kitty thing, and that's pretty cool, and that's all like private, so I'm not going to share any of that. And then I spoke to Luke, and Luke started by very clearly actually saying that he knew he did wrongs, which although he didn't directly say the word sorry, I feel like the fact that he did directly acknowledge what he did wrong is a good step in the right way. And although I couldn't confidently say that this apology was truly genuine, I do think it's a good step in the right direction, and I do appreciate the gesture either way, and I'm not going to question his apology, because I believe he's owed that respect to acknowledge his apology and leave it there, and if he shows himself to go back on it, he goes back on it. But for now, I'd rather not worry about something that's likely to never happen. Also, in this conversation, me and Luke went over some more of our criticism together, and we came to a common agreement, which would be that Luke would take down his videos on me. So, finally, I'm no longer scummiest clout chaser. Now I can clout chase without people exposing me for it now. But me and Luke agreed that he would take down his videos on me and I would take down my first 3 as they're no longer relevant or important, and they really were just there to respond to him and his videos. And Luke is working on an apology video to me, and I know he's reaching out to other creators in private to properly apologize for what he's done wrong, and I appreciate that. Though he did say he was going to include his apology as part of Kitty's video, which personally I think is a bad idea and the wrong choice, as it takes away from the focus of the apology being him apologizing. If it's put in part of a video, then criticizing people, I feel like it doesn't have the impact it should and isn't given the due time it should have, and also viewers don't end up going that far into a video, and it would feel out of place to have this big apology. But I'd love to know your thoughts down below, because I just genuinely feel that a lot of people may misperceive this as Luke hiding behind the victim and then apologizing so that he looks better. I don't personally believe that, but I feel it could be taken that way. And as such, I feel like Luke should be a lot more transparent with his apology and treat it kind of like his apology to Pyro, where it gets its own dedicated video where he properly addresses everything and apologizes. That's just my opinion though. If you disagree with me, please do tell me down below. Tell me if I'm out of line in saying that. I just feel like it won't have the right impact. Also, to be clear, just because I got my apology doesn't mean I'm not going to criticize Luke where he's wronged other people or where he's made mistakes. I will just as well criticize Luke for everything I think he's done wrong, as I believe that's the right mindset to have. I believe whether I have a personal grudge with Luke or not, I believe that I should handle criticism against him accordingly and respond to it in the way that I feel is valid, whether I'm close to Luke or not, as I did from the start. Furthermore, although I don't appreciate how long this took to get this apology, it really does feel like this apology should have come a lot earlier, and I did offer Luke a lot of opportunities to speak to me. I do still appreciate the fact that it did come, and I appreciate that this apology didn't push the blame or make excuses for anything he did, instead directly acknowledging his flaws, and whether he corrects himself from what he's learned is up to him. I just hope he does, as I believe it would be good to see a redemption arc for Prisonmate Luke, as I don't hate the dude, I don't think he should be cancelled. He's just a YouTuber who makes mistakes, like everyone else, and his mistakes have been quite egregious, but he's new to commentary, so I guess it does kinda come with the forte. The only thing Luke really did bring up to me was the thumbnail of my Prisonmate Luke silenced me video, which a lot of people found quite questionable. So I'd like to give a bit more explanation to that, and explain why I've changed it to the current thumbnail that can be reflected if you look at my channel. So, this thumbnail was a piece of art drawn by Hopeless Peaches, and it was supposed to be a proper piece of art like with Jar's thumbnails. However, Peaches' drawing software crashed, which led to her losing the file that I needed for my visuals, and as such, she had to kind of quickly put this together, which ended up indirectly coming across with this suspicious looking thumbnail where it really does look like a video where like a Chris Hansen video. But obviously Luke came to me, and while we were having this conversation he brought up how he didn't appreciate that thumbnail, and I did mention to him quite clearly that I'd already made another version and I was already going to change it. I just didn't feel comfortable changing it because it was Peaches' artwork, you know. But I realised it was probably the best thing to do, and I'm sorry to Peaches for the fact that you lost that artwork. It kind of sucks that it has to be changed, but, you know, it's it's an unintentional misconception that should probably be left cleared up and corrected for the sake of not sparing any more drama. The only final thing I want to see with this situation is for Creepshow Art to apologise for her wrongs, as she really hasn't spoke out about what she did wrong and acknowledged her faults and mistakes in this situation, instead leaving up her videos on Peaches, which could be considered quite slanderous and untrue. And sadly she does ignore my emails, though I know she replied to Spokta, so I'm hoping that maybe she will just address it. I know she intends to just move on, but I think the right thing to do is to address this and acknowledge what you did wrong, and straight up take it on the chin, and learn from the criticism you've been given. Nobody wants to cancel you, Creepshow. We do just want you to learn from the mistakes you've made here, as your misconceptions and your mix of emotion in your content to an overblown extent has caused issues with your content, whether you realize that yourself or not. So if you were to take the criticism and acknowledge it publicly at least, or maybe even just privately, you don't have to, you could just talk to me and say like, yeah, I agree with this, I disagree with this, that would be awesome. It would be great to see you learning and improving from the criticism given to you. With that all in mind though, hope you have enjoyed this video, and I hope that it's given you some more clarity on what's going on right now. I don't really make videos like this often, but it's good to be able to say that a YouTube drama had a good ending, where people actually spoke and resolved their issues. And although Peaches may not get the justice that she is owed for the amount of damage that happened to her channel, it's good to see that people are acknowledging their faults, especially people like Luke that did make quite large mistakes in this situation, and it's great that we can finally come to a common understanding. With that out of the way, hope you have enjoyed this video. If you have, feel free to leave a like, subscribe, and please turn on the notifications. They help more than I could explain. If you haven't got them on, just check, even if you think you have, because it would mean a lot if you could just put them on all, so that you get all the notifications for my videos, so you can keep up to date every time I post at 6 PM GMT, 1 PM EST. Anyway, hope you have enjoyed this video. Check out my other social media down in the description. I'd appreciate your support on those, and I will see you next time. Peace.
Says she wanna rock with it like me. I'm a stylish guy. Spend a little guap when it like me. We can catch a fly. Said she wanna rock when it like me.